Hi everyone, it's Chrissie and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. So in today's build we're actually in Mount Komorebi and we're going to be building a community lot. Now I honestly don't think that I have done a single community lot in Mount Komorebi since Snowy Escape came out. I honestly don't think I have. So yeah, we're doing a kind of like multifunctional community lot today. Even though it's technically not multifunctional, it can just like it fulfills the requirements for a couple of different lot types, which I will tell you guys about in just a second. But yeah, so we're actually building for my save file again, because the past couple of videos that I've done have all been for my save file. I don't know, I've really been trying to get as much done for my save as I can. So yeah, we're building for my save file, and like I said, this is the first, I believe it is the first community lot that I've done. If I'm mistaken, I will probably have it in the Snowy Escape playlist on my channel somewhere, but I don't think I am. I think I've mostly only done like residential lots and stuff like that. But yeah, so we're actually building a, and yes, I am going to horribly mispronounce this, but we're building a Shotengai. I believe that's how you say it. Like I said, probably saying it wrong. But from what I gathered, because I did do a little bit of research about this, I found out that traditionally Japanese streets that are basically all commercial shopping type streets, they're called Shotengais. Now, again, saying this very wrong, but that is what my inspiration was for this build. Now, I believe I had an inspiration picture when I started this build, but for the life of me, I cannot find it. Like, I planned out, so basically this build has been months and months and months in the making. I actually looked up, I've had this idea for this build for ages, for probably more than a year, because I know that the original planning that I did for this, where, if you guys don't know, when I do builds, especially bigger ones like this, I go in and I plan out the build. So I plan out the shape of it, the roofing, the floor plan, you know, what each space is going to be beforehand, before I actually hit record. That way, when I do start recording, I don't have to struggle as much with those like basic things. I can just go in and then like figure out the colors and the furniture and stuff like that all on camera. So that's why a lot of my videos might seem like the overall shape of a build or the roofing or whatever comes together really, really quickly. It's because I spent probably like 3 or 4 hours beforehand off camera figuring out those things, so that I wouldn't have to do it on camera and then have even more footage to go through when I'm editing. So basically, I planned out this build sometime last year. I know for a fact it was last year, but I think it was like at the beginning of 2022. So it has been ages. And then the kind of just like figured out build. So basically, I did the shape and the roofing and the front windows, and that was it. I didn't do anything else to it. I had that picture saved on my computer for months. And then in, I believe it was June of this year, I went in and I started building it. So this build, that like the footage that you guys are seeing right now, I did back in June. And I did the majority of the build back in June over the course of a couple of days. And then I never finished it. I left, I believe, I left like one of the shops basically unfinished, which I then went in and I finished in like September. So yeah, I finished this like more than a month ago at this point, and I'm finally getting around to sharing it. And the only reason it's taken me this long to share it is because I've been putting off the editing, because I had a lot of footage. So yeah, so I've been sitting on this build for quite a while. Now, what this build is supposed to be, like I said, is supposed to resemble a Japanese Shotengai. And yeah, I don't know how accurate it is. Obviously, I have never been to Japan. We don't have any architecture or neighborhoods or stuff like this around where I live, so I have absolutely no first-hand experience with it. All of the ideas and all of that stuff that I had and that I'm kind of like trying to incorporate here, they're all from pictures that I've seen and, you know, like research that I've done, stuff like that. So if any of it is very like unrealistic or like anything like that, like not accurate, then please feel free to let me know down in the comments. I did try and keep a lot of, like, I guess you could say, like cultural things in mind when it comes to like the bathrooms. I believe I cut out me doing the bathrooms, but I did make sure to separate them and, you know, all of those kinds of stuff. So I did try and keep that in mind. But yeah, if there's anything that's very like inaccurate, then definitely let me know in the comments. But basically on this lot, we have four separate like lot types. So starting on the left hand side of the lot, we actually have, technically it's more than four because you can set it as both a you can set it as a bar, a nightclub, and a karaoke bar. And that is just the left hand building. So the building on the left, the one with those big, the big sliding doors, that building can function as a bar, nightclub, or karaoke bar. Then right next to it, the part with those gray windows, it's just one floor, just that little tiny box. That is actually a laundromat. Now in The Sims, laundromats don't actually serve a purpose. There is no lot type for it. There's no practical reason to have it. I just thought it worked really, really well with a build like this. So I decided to put in a laundromat. Now there are a couple of ways that you can make that functional and have your Sims do laundry on this lot, but it's kind of fiddly. I did playtest it a little bit way back when I built that part of the build, but there are a couple of ways you can do it. You can have your Sims on their home lot. You can maybe just like place down a wash tub and not have like a laundry hamper or anything like that. Just place down a wash tub so that your Sims will still generate laundry, and then once they leave their clothes piles on the floor, you can just drag them into your Sims' inventory and then have them come to this lot and wash their laundry. Or you can put down a laundry basket and a clothes like wash tub on your Sims' home lot. Then like click on the wash tub or like click on the laundry basket, say do their laundry, and once they've taken it out of the hamper, just cancel the interaction so that they'll place it down on the floor, and then you can drag it into your Sims' inventory. But yeah, like I said, it is a little bit fiddly, and I haven't really been able to find a way of doing it where it's like streamlined and easy to do. So that part of the building is more so just for aesthetics, and because I thought it looked cool and it looked a little bit realistic, you know, having something like that. Then next to it, we actually have a boba shop, so like a bubble tea shop. That's the building with those reddish, like orangey red, like doors and windows. That's actually going to be, the bottom floor is like the thrift, not the thrift store, but like the boba slash bubble tea store. And then that has a staircase that goes upstairs that has that big middle space upstairs. That's the like thrift store, and like, you know, basically where your Sims can do some thrifting. They have a little changing room that I built, and you know, all of that kind of thrift and bubble tea shop stuff that you would need for that lot type. And then way on the right hand side of the lot, we have a restaurant. So that does function fully as a restaurant. I do have a kitchen in there as well. I believe I cut out me doing the actual kitchen furnishing, but it's very plain, very basic. So I didn't feel like there was like a need for me to show it, because it is supposed to look like a commercial kitchen. It's not super cluttered or detailed or anything like that. So yeah, we have a fully functional kitchen in there, so it can function as a restaurant. There's plenty of seating, you know, all of that stuff. And then upstairs we have, again, I don't know how those tables would function in a restaurant setting, which is why I placed a lot of other tables around. But on the second floor of the restaurant, I have a couple of kotatsu tables that I actually placed down, and I placed down a couple of tea sets from the My Wedding Stories game pack, and I placed those on the kotatsu tables to kind of make it look like that is mostly just like a tea room type space. it's, in my head, it would be a little bit like maybe the same people own it, that own the restaurant below, but they run that as a separate, like separate space, separate entity almost. So yeah, I don't know if the kotatsu tables would technically count as dining spots when you have this set as a restaurant. But yeah, you guys will have to let me know about that, because yeah, like I said, I did not playtest that part of it. But you know, that's why there's a lot of other seats, so you don't have to worry about that. But that is basically all of the like lots on this lot, I guess you would say. So we have, basically there's a lot of different things that it could be. It could be a nightclub, a bar, a karaoke bar, a thrift and bubble tea shop, a restaurant, and I believe it can also function as a lounge, because I have a microphone in the thrift store, because that is one of the requirements. I don't think I have a musical instrument anywhere though, so I don't think it can function as a lounge. But either way, it can function as like 4 or 5 separate lot types. So yeah, I don't know what I uploaded it to the gallery as. I believe I might have uploaded to the gallery as a restaurant, just so that I could, you know, have the restaurant, like the uniforms for the staff set up and the menu and stuff like that set up. But like I said, if you download it, you can change the lot type. You'll be totally fine. So yeah, just a little heads up there. But yeah, that is basically this entire lot, you guys. It's built on a 30 by 20 lot, and I am honestly surprised at how much I managed to fit onto it, considering it is only a 30 by 20 lot. When I originally started this build, for some reason, I thought it was a 40 by 30. And honestly, it might be, but I'm not sure. I have it written down as a 30 by 20. And it looks like a 30 by 20 if I look at it properly. But yeah, I think it is a 30 by 20. I don't think it's a 40 by 30. If it is, I will eat my words. And yeah, I could have gotten it wrong. But either way, the correct lot size will be in the description. But this is actually the lot where the Izakaya Ippai was originally. Again, saying that so wrong. But this is where like the bar slash karaoke bar was when you buy the pack. So this is where that like normal build was, that I just replaced with this more, I guess, more functional lot, if that makes sense, because I want Mount Komorebi to have a lot of families living here in my save, and I also do want to add in a couple of vacation homes, mostly on the mountain. So I didn't want to take up too many of the lots with community lots, but I don't just want it to have like one community lot either. So I figured, you know, we'll do something like this, make use of all of the space on the lot, and have it so that, you know, I can switch it up. I can switch it between the different lot types, and it can serve multiple purposes. So yeah, that is basically it for this build, you guys. I did also give it a couple of lot trades like Convivial, Chef's Kitchen, Teen Hangout, stuff like that. But again, very easy to change up if you wanted to change it up. But we're actually currently working on the laundromat, and I think this was the first, like, I guess you could say first business that I did properly. I tried to make it look a little bit more run down than the rest of the place. Like, you know, it is a little bit older. Maybe it's one of the first businesses that were here that, you know, maybe they haven't renovated it yet. Maybe the other ones have been renovated a couple of times, or, you know, maybe they've been converted a couple of times, you know, changed up, you know, what their purpose was. But yeah, so we've actually, I think we finished with the laundromat, and we're working on the like restaurant slash tea room. Now, this is what I mean by I placed down a couple of kotatsu tables, and eventually I put that big one up on a platform as well, which I messed around with a lot, so I cut it out. But I did put it up on a platform because I wanted to use these tatami mats from the Snowy Escape pack. So yeah, I placed those down, and then I have that on a little bit of a platform. I played around with a lot of platforms in this build, if I'm being honest. I wanted to have the build have a couple of different heights to it, like, you know, the stores have a couple of different heights, and like not all of them are built like on the same height, you know, foundation. They're all various different heights. And with the, not, I almost said living room, with the restaurant, we have this like raised deck at the front as well. That's like a little platform where your Sims can sit and, you know, stuff like that. I don't know. I really, really loved this build. It's one of my favorite builds that I've done, especially in Mount Komorebi. I don't build in Mount Komorebi a lot because I feel like with the builds in this world, they obviously have a very specific style because it is a Asian, Japanese inspired world. And I feel like everything that I build here needs to be in that style. And because it's not a style that I'm personally very familiar with, I always feel very apprehensive when trying to build something here because I feel like I need to make it, you know, as accurate as I can and not make any like big glaring mistakes. I can't just go in and build whatever is in my head. I need to look at reference images and look at, you know, stuff like that. So I feel like that's why I very rarely build here. But I don't know, I love the way this one turned out. Like I said, it was one that was not building, but like going around my head for ages, and I'm so glad I finally did it and I can finally share it with you guys. But yeah, we actually have quite a long video ahead of us because yeah, it's basically like 4 different builds in one. So yeah, I have quite a lot of talking left to do, and I do want to apologize if I sound a little bit loopy or tired. I'm currently sat at my desk. It's almost 12 a.m. and I am so tired I can barely keep my eyes open. But I have had a very, very busy day, and I have a very busy week and just a couple of months ahead of me that I won't get into right now. But yeah, most of it isn't good. So yeah, just very busy, very stressful, and I'm actually starting to feel that quite a bit. Like, I don't know, I'm very tired. So if I sound a little bit loopy, I do apologize. I'm also kind of medicated because not medicated, but like pain meds, because I have some toothache issues. And if any of you guys have dealt with toothache, I'm sure a lot of you have. It is not fun. It is one of the worst things ever. It's one of those, like, everyone has certain things that they really, really hate struggling with, and that they physically, like, pain stuff that they just cannot handle. For me, it's stomach ache and toothache. I cannot handle those. They are like, it drives me insane. I can handle migraines. I've had migraines like practically my whole life. I can deal with them. But toothache and stomach aches, I cannot. It drives me nuts. So yeah, it's been rough. Let's just put it that way. But on to some more interesting and I guess kind of less depressing news. We're still working on the build. I'm probably not going to talk about the build too much for the rest of this video, if I'm being completely honest, because like I said, I built this quite a while ago. Cannot remember half of the stuff that I did, even though I only edited this video yesterday, so I had to watch through like all of the footage for it to edit it. But I still cannot remember what I did, and I also didn't write myself all that many notes. So like usually when I build, I'll write notes to remind myself about, you know, why I did something a certain way, or you know, what my thought behind something was, or you know, an interesting fact that I wanted to mention about a certain item or whatever. And for this one I just didn't do that, so I have none of those notes to fall back on. So yeah, I'll probably randomly start talking about something as I see it, and yeah, we'll just go from there. But talking about other Sims news, so you guys are seeing this video on Thursday, and yesterday, on Wednesday, there was actually a leak for the next Sims 4 expansion pack. Now, I'm not going to go too in depth with that because personally, I have been trying to avoid all of the information about it. I did see quite a few pictures of it over on Twitter and on some of the Discords that I'm in, where they've actually leaked like the pack descriptions and all of that stuff. And yeah, I don't know, it makes me, let me know what you guys feel about this. This is actually an interesting topic for me because some people I know absolutely despise leaks. Like, they hate them, they hate the fact that they exist, And it just, for some people, I think it just saps the joy out of the surprise aspect of it all. And then for other people, they really like leaks, or at least they don't mind them, because it's almost like, you know, they're so curious about what's coming next, and the Sims team aren't announcing it fast enough. So when leaks come out, it's kind of like, oh, so this is what we're getting, and you know, they can talk about it and stuff like that. And personally, I used to be like that. I won't say I liked leaks, because I didn't. I always felt bad for the devs and felt bad that they couldn't like do a proper reveal the way they had planned it and stuff like that. So I always felt bad for them, but it never bothered me. Like, it never bothered me when stuff leaked. I would just, you know, go along with it and maybe give my opinion on it if it was something that I had a particular opinion on. And I would just, you know, always mention that, hey, this is a leak, it hasn't been confirmed, don't get your hopes up, it's not like necessarily set in stone, all of that stuff. But recently, it's kind of really been getting on my nerves. And I say that not as a, like, I'm not saying it to put blame on any of the simmers that I follow. I know a lot of simmers that are really, really nice, that only have the best intentions, and they will like share out this information because, you know, their communities like knowing it, and you know, they like speculating with their communities and talking about this stuff. So obviously no shade to anyone that shares stuff like this, but, or like that comments on stuff like this, or like retweet it or anything like that, obviously. But yeah, it's been kind of getting on my nerves, not on the part of the simmers that share it once it's out there, but on the part of the game websites, that it's always the same handful of websites that leak, but particularly expansion packs, that always seem to leak expansion packs. And it always pisses me off so much, because it's just like, I physically cannot fathom how sites that are supposed to be that big and that are supposed to be professional sites can keep doing that. Like, it just drives me nuts. And then of course there are a handful of people out there, creators out there, that basically make it their entire life's mission to find and share leaks and just like make it always seem like they know more than, you know, they probably should know, and like you don't know how they know half of the stuff that they know, because a lot of the times they'll know stuff even before like creators in the creator network know them. But there are obviously those people as well, and personally I don't follow any of them because I, like I said, don't have the patience for it. But yeah, I don't know, the leak recently has just been like, I don't mind the leak, because if it is true, then it's something that I find actually quite interesting. I didn't read too much into it. I like glanced at that like features, this pack description, picture list thing. I like glanced at it. But from what I saw, it does look interesting, and it does look like something I would love. But it's just like seeing the reactions of people, seeing like other simmers, their reactions of like, oh, this should have been a game pack, or how can this be an expansion pack, and this should have been a patch, and wada. It's just like, I cannot understand how they can say that when they haven't even seen an official announcement. Like, there's been no official announcement, we haven't seen a trailer, we haven't seen anything apart from the stuff that's leaked. And for all we know, those leaks could be as fake as could come. I mean, yes, the sites that leak them do have a fairly good, at this point, fairly accurate not representation, but reputation of leaking stuff that are kind of accurate. They don't always get like it's super accurate, but they usually have like the broad strokes correctly. Like, you know, maybe the release date or the name of a pack or some of the artwork, and then they won't have the name of the pack correct, or, you know, stuff like that. But even with that, all all people have seen are the leaks, and we don't have confirmation that they're even real. So, you know, when you haven't seen a trailer, when you haven't seen a blog post or a video or anything about a pack, how can you possibly have an opinion about the pack? I mean, yes, you can say, oh, it looks interesting, or oh, it doesn't look like it's my cup of tea, but that's mostly just based on a general theme. Like I'm saying, you know, it looks like it could be fun, it looks like it could be right up my alley. I'm basing that purely on the theme of this potential pack, and even the theme could be totally wrong. So like, I don't know how anyone could say like, oh, it's not worthy of being like a game pack or an expansion pack or whatever, when they haven't seen anything about it. And I don't know, this has just turned into like a rant lane or something, but I don't know, that's something that I feel very strongly about, and it always annoys me to no end when people say that, because I was actually having this conversation earlier with my sister, and I said like something along the lines of, I don't know how anyone can say that a pack or like a theme for a pack or whatever shouldn't be like an expansion, or shouldn't be a stuff pack, or shouldn't be a game pack or whatever, purely based on what they think of it, because that is so subjective. It's like saying art, like it's like saying an art piece is bad purely because you don't like it or because it's not your style. It's like art, that games are so subjective, because yes, obviously there are certain things that if a game does it, it's bad. Like there are certain things where there's a very clear line of, yes, this is a good thing to show in a game, or yes, this is a very bad thing to show in a game, or like, you know, there's some obviously exceptions to that rule. But when it purely comes to just a theme for a pack, or like a general idea for a pack, because yes, we don't know any more than that at this point, then it's just like, how? I mean, sure, say that, you know, it's not your style, or it's not something that you're personally interested in gameplay wise, and leave it at that. But don't drag everyone else into it and say that nobody wanted this, or how can this be this like XYZ pack? It's supposed to be a totally different thing, or it's supposed to be free or whatever, just because you think that. I don't know. I feel like that might not be a very popular opinion to have, or at least not to voice. But yeah, I don't know why I'm talking about this right now. I usually never talk like this in my videos and rant like this in my videos. I usually keep these ranty parts to Twitter and just post them there, but I don't know, for some reason I thought I should mention it. Might be because I'm kind of sleep deprived and tired, and my filter has just gone out the window for, you know, what I should and should not say. But yes, so moving on, we actually just reached around the point where I came back to the build in September, and I'm actually finishing up the bubble tea and thrift store. So we've already done the restaurant, we've done the laundromat, we've done the bar and karaoke bar. I tried to fit in as many actual gameplay items and gameplay features and things like that on this lot as I possibly could. So yeah, hopefully you guys will like it. Hopefully it will be useful to you in your gameplay. If you want to download it, is up on the gallery. My gallery ID as well as a download link and all of that stuff will be in the description. Tray files, as always, will be up for channel members, and in 3 weeks they'll be going up for everyone on my Tumblr. But speaking about channel members, I do just want to say a huge thank you to my channel members. You guys, your support honestly means the world to me. And I wanted to remind you guys, because I don't think I've talked about this in a video in quite a while, but my channel members get early access to obviously tray files, but they also get sneak peeks at stuff that's coming up. They get early access to my save file as well. So not necessarily like the polished version of my save that I would put out for everyone, but every couple of weeks I actually upload a work in progress version of my save, where I have, you know, some things done that I've done in the past couple of weeks that are in my save. I've set up some more things, I've added more builds, added more families, you know, stuff like that. And I also take my members, I also take their feedback and, you know, suggestions, all of that stuff to heart. So yeah, if that is something that seems like fun to you guys, definitely go ahead, click on the little join button next to the subscribe button, and yeah, read more about that, read more about it there if you're curious. The tier 2 and tier 3 channel members get early access to my save files. So yeah, definitely go ahead, check that out. And the only reason I'm mentioning this is because I don't know when the next version of my save will be out, because I have, like I said, an incredibly busy couple of months ahead of me. I originally was planning on releasing the second version of it in around maybe like June, July of this year, but obviously with everything that happened in May, it kind of just set my entire year back. And now that I'm back in school and all of that stuff as well, and I'm actually actively looking for work outside of the house and outside of YouTube, it's just been a lot. Let's just put it that way. It's been a lot. I haven't had a lot of time, but I am working on it. I'm trying to get it done as quickly as I possibly can, but still do it in a way where I'm proud of it and where I'm proud of what I'm putting out for you guys. Hopefully by the end of this year, we'll have another version out publicly. But until then, my channel members have early access to my version of my save. Every couple of weeks, I'll upload a new version of it. So yeah, definitely go ahead, check that out if it's something you're interested in. And I believe there was something else that I wanted to talk about, but I physically cannot remember. Like I said, I'm kind of loopy and I'm very tired, and I feel like I haven't done a voiceover in forever, even though it's only been like 3 days, because I did a voiceover on, was it Sunday or Monday? I can't remember, but I know I put out a video on Monday. And yes, I am trying to get pre-recorded a little bit, so if there are a couple of my videos coming up that I'm not using new packs in, or that I don't know, maybe the voiceovers are a little bit out of date, I'm going to try and do the voiceovers close to when I actually put out the videos. But if there are a couple of my builds where you're going like, oh, you know, this thing from pack XYZ could have been great there, I probably didn't use it because I didn't have it. It's I have a lot of builds that I've been working on for months that have been sitting in my like progress folder forever, that I've never finished, that I'm actually slowly going through and finishing. And that is why, you know, a lot of, you might also notice like reshade changes in the footage, where I used a different reshade when I started it, and then halfway through the video I'll switch to my newest reshade. You know, stuff like that. It happens. I, like I said, have a lot of old builds like backlogged that are partly finished or just started, and I'm slowly going through them and getting them done. But that is because I really want to try and get ahead a little bit with pre-recording and stuff like that, or at least like having the videos recorded and edited, and then just doing the voiceovers as I need them, because I need to do that more, because my schedule is absolutely insane and I suck at time management. So yeah, it's a whole thing. But anyway, I feel like I have been rambling in this voiceover about absolutely nothing and also absolutely everything way too much. If you guys have sat through this video so far, thank you so much. You guys are really like absolutely amazing. I love all of you guys. If you have sat through the voiceover so far, I apologize. My dog just started barking. Lord knows why, because it's like 12 a.m. I don't know what he is barking at. He barks at like anything that moves in the street outside, by the way. And he's really, really loud. And I can't stop him right now, because then I would have to stop the voiceover, and it's a pain. So apologies if you hear him. But what I was trying to get at is that I really do appreciate all of you guys so very much for watching all of my videos. I know my last couple of videos have been quite long, so if you sat through them, you guys are fantastic. I really appreciate it so much, because yeah, ad revenue, this is something not a lot of YouTubers talk about, but ad revenue and watch time really do mean a lot for the YouTube algorithm. And as someone who is dependent on their YouTube ad revenue, it really does mean a lot to me. So yeah, I also want to say that we are, at the time I'm recording this, we're less than 100 subs away from 10k on the channel. And I don't usually talk about numbers, but that is an absolutely insane milestone for me. I have worked my ass off, if I do say so myself, the last 5 years, and 10k is incredible. I just want to say an absolutely massive thank you to you guys. I'll have to start thinking about what we could possibly do to celebrate that. But yeah, just a huge thank you to you guys. I really do appreciate each and every one of you so freaking much. Honestly, it means the world to me. And yeah, with all of that said though, we're going to be putting the finishing touches on the little bubble tea store downstairs, and then we're going to go ahead and I'm actually going to take you guys into the game and we're going to have a proper look at this build, because like I said, I did cut out quite a few things, including like the bathrooms and you know, some other stuff. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead, we're going to hop into the game and I'm going to give you guys a live tour of the build. Okay, so here we are in the finished build, and it is currently like in the middle of the night, so let me just make it daytime. I think it's cloudy as well, so you can't really see it too well. But yeah, so here we have the finished build. I currently have it set as a restaurant, but that, like I said, is just so that I can have the outfits and the menu set up. So I do have that all set up on the gallery. But yeah, so let's start off on the left side, I think. So we're going to start off on this side. Over here, I just have a little bike rack that I don't think I did on camera. But yeah, we have a little bike rack off to the side. You know, obviously a bunch of, you know, signage, stuff like that. We have our little like bar and karaoke space. So there's a little seating space out front. And then down here, we have our main bar space. So yeah, we have our bar, couple of high top tables, a little foosball table because gameplay wise it's just useful to have. So yeah, we also have our TV, jukebox, and then upstairs going up we have our karaoke space. So we have a bathroom over here that's just, you know, toilet, sink, and yeah, just fairly generic bathroom. I have these new bathroom signs that we got in an update. I have those over all of the bathrooms as well. But yeah, we have a couple more tables up here. We have a dartboard. We have some seating out on the little balcony as well. And then, of course, we have our karaoke spaces. I tried to section them off, but still have the space feel as open as possible. So yeah, we have these like fake, not really, it doesn't really divide anything. But we have our karaoke area over here. Now, going back downstairs and moving next door, we have our laundromat. So out here, we actually have a games table. And then we have our main laundry space. So there's a lot of washers, a lot of dryers. I also have a couple of vending machines in here as well. And like I mentioned in the voiceover, getting this to work functionally can be a little bit of a pain. So it's more of just an aesthetic thing. But there are ways you can make it work if you needed to. And then next to that, we actually have our thrift store and bubble tea shop. So we have our nightclub slash karaoke bar over there, our laundromat downstairs. Then we have our thrift and bubble tea store, which is, you know, this little part of the building, as well as that upstairs part, which I thought, you know, maybe whoever owns this building, they didn't need the upstairs and maybe they needed the money, so they sold it to whoever owns the thrift and bubble tea store so that they could expand. But yeah, so downstairs we actually have the whole like bubble tea area. So we have some space for your Sims to take off their shoes. I don't know why there's a mailbox in the middle of the building. Anyway, that should not be there. But yeah, we have space for them to take off their shoes. We have some incredibly fun shag carpeting, some more tables, you know, for them to have their bubble tea at. A lot of fun art on the walls. And then obviously we have our not thrift counter, our bubble tea counter, which is actually accessible from the back. And in the back I actually have a little like staff space, so this is where they would put the garbage for both the thrift store as well as for the restaurant as well. They both have back entrances for the staff. So yeah, that's where they would enter, like access the little bubble tea station. But then also going upstairs, we have our thrift store area. So I don't know why there's another bookcase snapped into that. That is so weird. I'm gonna have to go through before I upload this and make sure that none of those weird things are there. But yeah, so upstairs we have another bathroom. So each of these, like, I guess you could say quote unquote buildings, apart from the laundromat, each of them have their own bathrooms, at least one of them. So yeah, we have our little bathroom, a lot more colorful than the other bathrooms, which I thought just fit with the whole bubble tea thrift vibe, which I love. So yeah, we have our little thrift counter, some bookcases, maybe these are old books that they sell, secondhand books. We obviously have a lot of our clothes racks. I placed down a couple of these as well that are just decorative. These are obviously the functional ones from high school years. And then we have our little like, more like almost dressing room slash entertainment space. So we have the microphone that they need for the thrift and bubble tea lot type for some reason. Another clothes rack. I also placed down a makeup station in case your Sims want to come here and get ready, maybe try on some makeup or whatever. But yeah, we have a little vanity, some seating, and then I also did this little like fake dressing room space where they have like a big floor-length mirror, some clothes racks, which I figured, you know, maybe these are the clothes that they've brought in to try on, or that, you know, they've decided they're not buying, so it's still just hanging here for the staff to put back up on the correct racks or whatever. But yeah, I love the way that looks. I love this like thrift store. I love it so much. And then going back downstairs again, the last building is actually the restaurant and tea room. So yeah, this is the restaurant and tea room space. Downstairs, obviously, we have some outdoor seating with, you know, obviously the platforms. We have some seating out around the tree, some more bigger tables around this side by the lanterns and stuff like that. And then, whoops, where am I? I'm going inside to go through here. We have obviously the host station, some, you know, a small table in here, as well as a couple of booths. There's not a lot of seating inside for the restaurant. Most of it is outside. So yeah, we have a couple of booths, and then we just have the big, you know, open kitchen, like cooking station for the chefs. Very basic kitchen. So we have obviously the waiter station, dishwasher, some fake storage, obviously just to make it look like they have storage. And then we have a little sink over there in the corner as well for the staff. And that is basically it for the downstairs, but they also have an upstairs. So upstairs we have the kotatsu tables that I have. So we have two smaller ones and then a bigger one up here. That's on a little bit of a platform with the tatami mats. And then I did place down these tea sets as well that came from, I believe they came from My Wedding Stories, and they do work. If you place them like that, your Sims can access them. So yeah, I figured that would kind of give you an idea of what I was thinking for this part of the build. Even though it's probably not how it will function in The Sims, it's just what I was thinking in my head. Now, this build, or like this building, also has a little front porch, or like front balcony space, but it's only one tile wide, so I didn't put anything on it. It's more just decorative than anything else. But they obviously also have a bathroom. They actually have two. So we have our separate sink space where I have a little couch, so maybe if the bathroom is busy, your Sims can have a seat and wait it out. But then they also have their two separate toilets as well. So yeah, that is basically it for this build, you guys. If you want to download it, like I said, it is up on the gallery. All of that information will be in the description. But here is a quick little look at the floor plan of it, just in case I did a really bad job of explaining it. But on the left, we have the karaoke bar upstairs. We have the thrift store in the middle. On the right, we have the tea room. Then downstairs on the left, we have the bar. In the middle, we have the laundromat, and the bubble tea store. And then on the right, we have the restaurant. So yeah, there's a little floor plan overview for all of you. But yeah, so here we have a little nighttime view of the lot as well, which I thought you guys might like to see because I played around with some lighting and all of that stuff. But yeah, I love the way this looks. I love the way this looks. I love the way it looks with all of like the neon signs and stuff like that. It looks so cool. I love it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give the video a like. If you're new to the channel and want to see more Sims content, feel free to hit the subscribe button. And like I mentioned in the voiceover, we are so close to 10,000 subscribers. And I know, because I can see this in my analytics, that some of you that watch my videos aren't subscribed yet. So if you aren't subscribed yet and you like Sims content, you like speed builds, I'm also part of the creator network, the EA creator network. So I do usually have like early access videos up on the channel as well, and giveaways and all of that stuff. So if any of that seems interesting to you, feel free to hit the subscribe button. And also turn on notifications if you don't want to miss any of my upcoming videos. I don't have a set schedule, so yeah, turning on notifications is very useful to make sure that you don't miss anything, as well as keeping an eye on the community tab as well, because I do post like updates in there. I post polls about when you want to see videos, I post sneak peeks. I also have a Discord server which is linked in the description below. It's completely free to join, anyone can join it. So yeah, give that a look, come join us over there, come hang out, and I will talk to you guys all in my very next video. Bye everyone.